And now I'm going to do the drainage layer. Well, as something just to separate the hardscape, I just use these 2 dragon stones. Okay, so now I've got all the plants in and all the moss in, and okay, so this terrarium here has just been sitting on my shelf for the last couple of months. At one point it was looking very nice and grown in, but as you can see now it's went a bit downhill. So today I'm just going to clean it out and stuff, take out all the soil, sticks, plants, everything, and just rescape it, put new plants in and make it look 10 times better. The plants in there at the moment are literally just weeds out of the garden, like this is a stinger, and it actually does sting you. But so yeah, I'm just going to clean it all out, put some nicer plants in. I've got a lot of different house plants in that line about, so we'll add some nice plants in, and just make this enclosure look 10 times better. So now I've emptied out the all the soil and sticks and things like that out of the cage, and now I'm going to do the drainage layer. So you want a drainage layer in a terrarium so that when I'm spraying it down and just like adding water, the excess water that isn't absorbed by like the soil or the plants can go and like sit away from the soil, so that it ain't causing the soil to go like soggy, because then that can cause your roots to go soggy and get root rot and cause the plants to die. To be honest, most of the plants I'm putting in are like tropical plants anyway, so majority of them can handle like soggy roots and things like that. But just to be safe, we're going to do that, and it just means that our soil isn't getting eroded away over time, and that our terrarium just stays looking good and functioning good. So yeah, that's what we're going to do now. So now I've added the drainage layer, as well as something just to separate the soil from the drainage layer. The drainage layer is literally just some gravel that I got out of my garden. The thing I'm using to separate the soil is literally just cocoa liner. This is what you put in like hanging baskets and things like that, but it's a good thing to use because it will separate the soil but also allow the roots to grow through eventually of the plants. So yeah, that's what we've done. Now I'm going to add the soil and then start getting scaping. I've done the hardscape, and for the hardscape I just use these 2 dragon stones that I had lying around from an old aquarium. I just put some soil in as well, and the soil is just normal average garden soil, so nothing fancy really, but that's just going to be good enough for the plants. Looking decent so far. So now I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit of gravel just for a contrast, and so that it's just not straight soil, you know what I mean. And I might also add some sand as well from upstairs. Gravel is in, and now I'm going to start focusing on plants. If you look, I've actually piled up the soil at the back here, and that's because one, the enclosure is only going to be viewed from the front, so we don't need to really worry about what it looks like at the side. But I've also done it so that obviously I can plant some plants in here. So this will be a nice planting bed back here for some low growing plants that will grow hopefully, you know, up and out of here. Then we've got a little cave at the back there, but there is still soil at the back, so I can plant something down the back there, and then I'll add mosses and lower growing plants around here. So yeah, let's get into the planting. I've just given the terrarium a mist down, and now I'm going to start adding the plants. So we've got 2 different types of each plant here. We've got some nerve plant, this is a string of turtles plants, and then this one, I can't remember the name, but the name will be on the screen. So now we're going to start adding them in there, and then I'll add moss and stuff as well, but for starters we're just going to add this. If I think it's looking a bit bare, I'll add more, but I reckon this is a good selection for now. Okay, so now I've got all the plants in, and this is how it's looking so far. I've also added some leaf litter as well, but now I'm going to start adding the moss. So here I've got some carpet moss and some sphagnum moss, and this has just been picked again from my garden, and some little weeds as well, which I might add in, because I've added these in terrariums before, to be fair, and they've done good, so maybe I'll add them, probably yes. But anyway, now we're going to get this moss in. Okay, so now I've got all the plants in and all the moss in, and I think it's looking very good, to be honest. It's looking a lot more naturalistic, and this just literally looks like I've got this rock out of the wild. So yeah, I think it's looking very good, and I'm excited to see how it grows. I'm going to add a couple little stones that was actually in it before, and then apart from that, this terrarium is done now. I'll show you what it's looking like when it's back upstairs, and then I'll give it like say 2 weeks or maybe even longer, I'll just see, to grow in, and then I'll pick up the camera again and show you guys when it's grown in. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it grows well. So I just realised that I didn't add any sticks or wood or anything, which I said I was gonna. So I added these 2 little branches in here. And not much, to be honest, but I think it does just make it that even more bit like natural. And I think it just, yeah, why not add it, you know what I mean? To make it look like the sticks are attached together, I've just used moss, just so that it looks like they're both the same piece of sticks, when actually these are 2 different sticks. And again, just making it look more natural. Now I'm gonna get it upstairs, and yeah, we'll take another look at it when it's upstairs. So now I've added those 2 little stones that I was talking about that was in the terrarium before, and I've just got it under this light at the moment, which is the light from my fish tank, my 2 fancy goldfish. So yeah, now I'm going to let this enclosure grow in for the next couple of weeks, as I said, and then I'll pick up the camera and show you guys how it's looking in a couple of weeks. Okay, so it's been 3 weeks now since you last seen the terrarium, and as you can see, it's been growing in very well. We got all different shoots coming all around the place. All the plants that I put in have been doing very well. I mean, you can see the itch plant is literally outgrowing the terrarium already, and yeah, it's been looking very good, to be honest. But yeah, that's the end of this video now. Thanks for watching to the end, and let me know in the comments what you thought about this terrarium build. Make sure you subscribe as well, because I've got a lot of content coming. I'm going to be upgrading these fancy goldfish soon. As well as I'm currently making a big bearded dragon enclosure, so I've got a lot of content on the way.